Tonight on Red Eye.
Coming up on Red Eye, is General Motors making a huge mistake with its newest line of vehicles? We'll examine their risky decision to build a new fleet powered entirely by hay and oats. Plus, does the president think comedian Tom Shillue is in fact a serial killer?
Let's put to rest, once and for all. Look at the evidence. There's no doubt.
And finally, is a gas mask and a cold glass of water all you really need to scare the crap out of your kids? Yep, pretty much. None of these stories on Red Eye tonight.
I'm Tom Shillue, sitting in Greg Gutfeld's seat. I feel like Goldilocks in Baby Bear's chair. It feels just right. Rumor has it Greg will be back tomorrow. And now let's welcome our guests. She's a reporter that wears thick rimmed glasses, but you won't fool me, Supergirl. I'm here tonight with National Review reporter Katherine Timpf. If waving was a sport, she'd be the world champion until she develops carpal tunnel syndrome and is forced to retire. It's Joanne Nosuchinsky. He's opposed to data collection on civil libertarian grounds and data collection because he abhors surrealism. It's TV's Andy Levy. And he's a clean comic. He still swears in his act, but the club owner makes him mop up the place when he's done. It's writer and comedian Keith Alberstadt.
A-Block. The lead. That's the first story.
Did the NFL prefer not to know? TMZ reports that the league never reached out to the casino to request video of Ray Rice punching his fiancée. Workers there say they would have handed over the elevator surveillance tape, but no one asked. On Tuesday, Commissioner Roger Goodell spoke to CBS News.
Did you know that a second tape existed?
Well, we had not seen any videotape of what occurred in the elevator. We assumed that there was a video. We asked for video. We asked for anything that was pertinent, but we were never granted that opportunity.
Meanwhile, Rice's wife is defending him. Janae Palmer, who's married to the Ravens running back, she married earlier this summer, and declined to press charges, posted a message on Instagram. It reads in part, "No one knows the pain that the media and unwanted opinions from the public has caused my family. To make us relive a moment in our lives that we regret every day is a horrible thing. To take something away from the man I love that he has worked his ass off for his whole life just to gain ratings is horrific." Well, what do you think, Keith? Before you comment on Janae, tell me, did the NFL, do you think they could have gotten that tape that they didn't want to?
I have a hard time believing that because it's the Teflon sports league. Like, they've got so much going on and nothing sticks to them. They got concussion scandals. They got bounty gate. I just think he dropped the ball like Tim Tebow threw him. You don't think so? You don't think that they didn't? You don't think that they did anything wrong, essentially? I'm not saying that. I think it's egregious they didn't ask. I just think they dropped the ball. They weren't. I don't think they deliberately ignored the asking for the tape.
Catherine,
Come on.
I detect that you're suspicious because you're saying "come on" to Keith's face.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Why wouldn't they have wanted to watch it? Right. I mean, clearly it's made it very easy on them. They've all been having a great work week having to deal with all this stuff. It's a lot easier to just say, you know what? Pretend it didn't happen. Okay, sure, we'll do something about it. I mean, look at what's happened because of this. Of course they'd rather not have to see it so that they're not responsible.
Now, taking this late action, do you think it's helped NFL or do you think it's hurt? It makes them look like they're running scared, doesn't it?
Yes, but what are they going to do? Do nothing? No matter what at this point, after looking at this video, they're in trouble. Whether they said they saw it or not, I don't know why it really even proves anything, though, because what did they think happened in that elevator? What did they think happened?
Right.
She was knocked unconscious. That was the most disturbing part of the video, I thought, was after, and everyone already saw that.
Also, did you hear his denial? They said, did you see a second tape? And he said, we weren't, whatever his word was. He said we assumed there was another tape, but we didn't have the opportunity to see it. He didn't say we asked for it and we didn't get it. He said we didn't have the opportunity.
And other stuff.
First of all, I believe he's straight up lying when he says nobody in the league saw that tape. Too many reporters accurately described the tape based on league sources back in July. ESPN's Chris Mortensen was told back in May, I'm sorry, not July, he was told from a source in the league who saw the tape that, or that said he saw the tape,
Yes.
that Rice hit Janae 2 times, and that after the second time she struck her head on the railing and was knocked unconscious. Well, that's exactly what's on the tape.
Yeah.
So the source obviously wasn't lying. At
Well,
the
maybe
time.
it was a case just like
No.
you remember the sports scandal out at the college with the the pedophilia
Penn
scandal.
State.
Yeah, at Penn State.
Yeah.
They didn't want to know the answer. Okay, so
Right.
wasn't this the case that maybe Roger Goodell didn't see it? Maybe no one in the
ignorance
Home
is
office
bliss.
saw it.
You don't have to say you're responsible then. If you say, I didn't see it,
No.
that's what I do when I'm walking down the streets. I'm like, I don't see a mugging. I'm not looking.
But what I'm saying is, what do they, by investigating further, what do they have to lose? It's not like this
Look
is
at
the
what's
goal.
happened.
It's not like the goal, but it's the NFL. Nobody's going to stop watching. They got so much going for them. It's not like this is Peyton Manning, some golden boy NFL pedestal player. It's Ray Rice. He's a great player and everything, but if they went and investigated further and got this tape and showed it a long time ago when it originally happened, they're still going to have everybody in the country watching their games.
Right, but it's a black mark on the league that one of their players did that, and I think if they could prevent this tape from getting out, you would still have people out there saying, well, we saw the aftermath.
Yeah.
We don't know what happened in that
It's very different, like,
elevator."
actually seeing it. And that's why the media is bringing all this up again. When Janae is saying, why does this have to happen again? Because when the public sees that happen to you,
Right.
we care about you. And we want to make sure that
that's
he
a good
is
point.
punished.
So we care about her, right? But I sympathize with her. Her point, not just I sympathize with the fact that her husband punches her.
Mm-hmm.
I sympathize with the fact that she's saying, look, now our life is extra ruined. I mean, what do we,
I do too. Yeah.
Isn't it terrible?
She said everyone stopped talking about it, so now instead we're talking about how she said don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And now here I am talking about how we were told not to talk about it. We're talking
married
about how we
someone in
shouldn't
the
talk about
NFL.
it.
Like, you have to understand that he belongs to a brand. You're going to be in the public eye.
Right.
And you're role models for people. As much as maybe you don't want to be, you are.
But
so
it's
we're gonna
also
talk
horrible to
about
turn
it.
on every time you turn on the TV.
Oh, of course.
You're either getting punched in the face or someone's talking about it. Like right now, for example, if she turned on the channel, we'd be talking about it, and that's tough. Well, you do have to expect it, of course. You're right, but it's horrible.
And if we care about her, I mean, why do we want him home? Shouldn't he be? We'd rather have him at practice than hanging around at home.
I do think that the focus.
I'm not kidding.
The conversation does need to change, I think, from we need to punish him, what are we going to do to punish him, to how can we help people who are involved in domestic abuse, who have been abused by a partner. How can we help them? I think that the focus needs to shift from that. And I think that's kind of what Joe Biden was trying to do in his interview when he said his statement.
Well, Joe Biden was running interference for the NFL. He said, regardless of when it happened, they're doing the right thing. So Joe Biden was definitely helping out the NFL there.
Yeah, but I mean, and look, I think he's right. They're doing the right thing now. They should have done it back then. The original police report said that Rice had caused, quote, bodily injury to Janae Palmer, specifically by striking her with his hand, rendering her unconscious. He got a 2-game suspension from the league, the full support of his loathsome coach, John Harbaugh, and his team. Then the video came out showing that Rice had caused bodily injury to Janae Palmer, specifically by striking her with his hand, rendering her unconscious. And suddenly he's cut by the team and suspended indefinitely by the league. In other words, nothing changed except we saw what we already knew happened.
Exactly.
So, and that's the only reason the Ravens and the league acted now, and they should have acted back then. And I don't know if this is the end for Roger Goodell. I hope it's, as Bomani Jones said on ESPN on Monday, I hope it's at least the beginning of the end, because he has to go.
Keith, you were going to make a point, but also I'm going to ask you a question to destroy your point. Isn't this an argument to not trust these organizations at all? If a crime is committed, call the police. All right? He went through the court system, and the judge let him off.
Well, the prosecutor declined to prosecute.
Okay, well, there was some kind of a deal, right?
Yeah,
you would call it
pre-trial.
The pre-trial intervention.
Yeah.
Okay, so he went through the court system. So why don't we just let it at that? Why don't we say that he went through the court system, and that's the way we mete out justice?
Right, our justice system's perfect.
Well,
right?
no, I mean,
there's never any corruption.
Okay,
in these big
it's not perfect, but
organizations.
isn't that what we call due process, right?
Yeah, but when you've signed a contract, and it's a part of
Okay,
your
well,
job,
they
your
can do whatever they
employers
want. But the
can-
thing is that we are acting like, Puritans in the public square. We're calling for his head, and we're saying the NFL has to do something about it. The justice system has to do something about it. If it's a crime, it's not a scandal.
Why can't it be both?
Well, I guess it can be both, but I think that why are we relying on these organizations, Keith, you were going to make a point about the NFL. But we can't trust these organizations to do any policing. So why do we ask them to do it?
That's a good question. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think the fact that we're all talking about this leads me to believe that maybe the story was, this video was planted by Dan Snyder of the Washington Redskins. So we can
certainly
deflect our
it does deflect our attention.
I want to say one thing about Janae's comments, if I may interrupt.
You may.
One thing, I think the underlying message she was trying to make in that Instagram was, with all due respect, it could be worse. I could have married Ray Lewis. He killed a guy. He killed a guy.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Well, did he?
But did he? I mean, I don't think we can say that. Anyway, listen.
I do think, though, Rice said on Tuesday, I have to be strong for my wife. I think, actually, that was the problem.
No, it was his behavior. Now, I mean, okay, Andy, check this out. DiGiorno Pizza accidentally inserted themselves into the story. On Monday night, they tried to jump onto a Twitter hashtag. It was the Why I Stayed hashtag. Can we show it? The hashtag was for survivors of abuse, which they, of course, didn't realize. Why I stayed because you had pizza. And then, of course, the backtracking. A million apologies. Did not read what the hashtag was about before posting. Isn't that the job of the social media director?
Yeah.
All they have to do is that one thing.
Dumb tweet, honest mistake. I mean, I don't think they should be pilloried for it. It was stupid. Whoever the guy or the girl doing the posting there deleted the tweet within 10 seconds or something like that.
Probably pretty embarrassed.
And I mean, look, it was stupid, but it obviously wasn't meant.
What did they think it was? Like why I stayed at the party?
Maybe.
They thought it was just a random thing. I agree. If you're a social media manager for
you should probably
you should look.
You look at the trend. You look at it.
Yeah.
It definitely was not delivery in that case, though. It was definitely DiGiorno.
Yes.
Okay, just say nope to the war on dope. The new report from the Global Commission on Drug Policy says it's time for a troop withdrawal in the war on drugs. In preparation for the UN Special Session on Drugs in 2016, the Commission, which is made up of world leaders, is calling, quote, for an end to the criminalization and incarceration of users, together with targeted prevention, harm reduction, and treatment strategies for dependent users. The report also says governments should regulate drug markets and adapt their enforcement strategies to target the most violent and disruptive criminal groups rather than punish low-level players. This would be a drastic policy change, especially in the U.S., where we have run anti-drug ads like this one. I think that was pretty effective. I'm never doing drugs. Andy, is this the end of the war on drugs? What do you think?
Look, how many lives have been lost? How many people have been needlessly incarcerated? How many billions of dollars have been needlessly spent on this stupid war that we never had a chance of winning?
Well, my research here says we have laws. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You didn't do the research?
No, I think he was being hypothetical.
I see,
Yeah.
Well,
look
very official.
We don't know.
The idea of criminalizing the acts of adults who consciously choose to put substances in their bodies is insane and morally wrong. For people who can't see that, at the very least, this report that also shows that it's a horrible policy from a practical perspective. It doesn't work. Prohibition never works. Any conservative who claims to be for small government but supports the war on drugs is a complete and utter hypocrite.
Wow. With that said, Keith, I mean, you have been for the war on drugs ever since Nancy Reagan cracked that egg in the frying pan, weren't you?
That's exactly correct. I've been a big fan of the war on drugs.
Well, do you agree with Andy? He's for complete legalization.
I don't know if I'm.
He sounds like he is.
I don't know if I agree
All
with
drugs.
you.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catherine, too? Okay, we'll get to you. Let's see where Keith stands. You're going to have to go up against Catherine once again, Keith.
And she's crippled.
You've seen what drugs have done to our cohorts in the comedy clubs, Keith.
Oh, yeah.
It makes a shamble of their lives.
I'm a big fan. This report was written, it should be noted, after the commission went to Bonnaroo. So that, I think, is an important footnote to make.
So that's why there were a lot of major guys on this. Kofi Annan was on it. Who else, Andy, was on this? A lot of real people.
Richard Branson was on this commission.
Okay.
Isn't he like trying to send a boat to Venus or something like that?
That's a great old song. Catherine, you're also for decriminalization or complete legalization.
Complete legalization. Complete legalization. I live in East Harlem, and there's tons of drugs all over. I see people get arrested, the same people, multiple times, and the cops, I'll hear them say stuff to them like, oh, it's you again. Of course it's him again. That felony you gave him didn't make it any easier for him to go get a real job. He has a choice between working at an IHOP for minimum wage or going back into selling drugs. And in terms of doing drugs, nobody's doing them because their lives are together. They're not thinking, oh, you know what, I might get in trouble, better not do it. Absolutely nobody's been helped by this at all, and it's just hurting everybody who is prosecuted because of it.
What happens if a drug becomes decriminalized and then the street name of the drug becomes something like trans fat or secondhand smoke, and then it's all of a sudden illegal again?
No, that's a serious problem. Yeah.
That's a very good comment you made, by the way.
I see what you did there.
Joanne, your drug of choice, wine, that was once constitutionally illegal.
Yeah, but I wasn't born yet, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, do you agree with these two severe libertarians?
I think
You want
we need
complete
to
legalization?
Change our focus, right? So anti-drug campaigns don't work because the focus is still drugs. We need to change it to pro-health. It's like Mother Teresa always said, I'll never go to an anti-war rally, but I will go to a peace rally.
Wait, did she say that?
I think so. I just said it with conviction, hoping everyone would believe
exactly
me.
right.
I know.
You
Were
know?
they begging for her to show up at an anti-war rally? I don't know.
But no, I do think that there are people who are put in prison who are just recreational users, where there are people who are addicted to prescription meds.
Right.
And that's some hard-hidden stuff, and they have a prescription for it, and it's legal. So it just really doesn't make sense in terms of the health of the person.
I'm with you two guys halfway. I'm for decriminalization. I don't like these mandatory minimums. I think it's ridiculous to have drug users filling up our prisons. So I would start with the decriminalization. But I don't know about the legalization of hard drugs. I don't know. I don't do them. But from what I
You don't
understand,
do them, but probably
heroin's
not
it's a
because they're
terrible
illegal.
scourge on the public.
Heroin's all being for legalization doesn't mean you're pro using
the
heroin.
drug, yeah.
Oh, I thought it did, Andy.
No, they're two
I've already
completely
labeled you
different things.
pro-drug.
Oh, I know you have, because that's what you people do.
Pro-freedom. Pro-freedom.
I am pro-freedom as well, but I think perhaps
No,
you
you're
have to
not.
take it step by step. It's not going so well over in these states. Isn't Colorado suffering from all
Not
this
at
stuff?
all.
Oh, they're not.
No,
Everything's
you need
fine?
to
Not a thing.
Come
look
on,
at
I
the
watched
news.
I watched Bill O'Reilly's show. I thought it's all problems over there.
Yeah.
All right, coming up. How do I stay so fantastic? The question that the Fox Medical A-team is still unable to answer. But first, Apple unveils a new watch. But will people really want to buy a watch made by Gwyneth Paltrow's preteen daughter? Can you resist putting it on your wrist? On Tuesday, Apple announced its new, bigger, and faster iPhones, and then dropped a dime on a new way to tell time. It's called the Apple Watch, and it's the company's first wearable piece of tech. It syncs to your iPhone so you can get notifications for email, text, and all your favorite social networks like MySpace, Friendster, or Classmates.com. And it uses Siri to let you dictate responses. It's also got a bunch of fitness stuff already built in to help you with workouts and even tell you how much time you spend moving and standing. Probably not a lot for the dorks who are going to wear this thing. The Apple Watch starts at $350, but hang on, nerds, you won't be able to buy one until 2015. Try not to kill yourself. The Apple CEO also made another major product announcement.
Today, we are launching the biggest advancement in history. They are without a doubt the best we've ever done. It's incredibly customizable, so you can find one that reflects your personal style and taste.
That was great. Was that Tim Cook's real voice? Does he really do that? It sounds extra silly when you see it with that item, but it's a little bit of drama. Katherine, do young people wear watches anymore?
No, see, I love this watch because now I'll be able to know who I don't want to talk to before even having to talk to them first. Anybody who's going to get this watch, like, oh, let me get my cool new space watch. I'm so excited. It's like either going to be those people or people that want to have, like, the latest stuff and they're going to go get it on their way to Armani Exchange or whatever.
Oh,
there's
not
nobody.
Cool to come on the show and do impressions of me.
Yes,
really
Andy.
uncalled for.
Andy, how do they do it? How does Apple stay significant? They had U2, which is a rock band. They had U2 at their release.
Crushing it with
and
the
how
young
do they
people.
still act like they're kind of the underdog? They have been the biggest company in the world for several years now, and they're a monster, but somehow they still keep that counterculture attitude. How do they do it?
I don't know. I think they're starting to lose it. Look, I have precisely zero interest in this watch. The iPhone 6, absolutely, I'm getting it. Don't love the new, bigger size, but whatever. It's new. I have to get it. But the watch, first of all, it starts at $350. Plus, you have to have an iPhone. It has to sync to an iPhone. So you're asking a lot of people. You're not telling them they have to have two products. They can't just buy the watch. And I feel like in the future, it will be legal to spit on people who are wearing Google Glass and an Apple Watch at the same time. Like, you will be able to walk up to them, hawk a loogie in their face.
Wait, it isn't legal already?
No, it's not. But I think the law is going to change so that if they do anything back to you, they're the ones that will get arrested.
Andy, the right of your spit ends at the edge of my Google's glass-wearing nose.
Right now,
you
yes.
know
I'm saying I think that will change.
Joanne, what do you think? Do you have all of these devices? Look, do you know I have an Apple phone right here, an Apple watch.
Listen, if it doesn't make me look more attractive, I don't want it.
Is that?
Yeah, it's an iPod.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's the Nano?
Yeah, it's an iPod Nano.
Wow.
Strap it on your wrist, you got a watch.
you?
Look at it. It's a watch. That is a good
See, if I
watch.
could have that or diamonds, I would.
It's a rubber band.
Take
That's
diamonds.
look, Tech. It's good.
That is the most pathetic thing.
Nobody wears watches. Young people don't wear watches. Young people don't listen to U2. This is just really...
Well, I mean, and two, it's not like I'm going to look at a man who's wearing it and be like, wow, he dropped $350 on that watch. He has a lot of money. Like, it's actually really affordable.
It is
which I thought
affordable.
was cool.
Would you date a guy wearing this watch, Joanne?
I mean, no. The only thing I do like about it, though, is that the dial is called a crown, and that's classy.
Yeah, it is. Keith,
that's it.
What do you think? You're always on the cutting edge of business trends.
No, I'm not.
Is the Apple Watch going to be a flop or not?
I like Apple. I have several Apple products. I'm a big fan of the iPhone 8 and its time travel app.
I got that.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Now I get it. I was a little behind on you there, Keith.
I'm not a fan of the watch.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the whole idea. It's really similar to what Andy was saying, because it's the same thing as these other devices, and you got to get the other device in order to make these coexist together. Just reinventing the wheel at $350.
You're all a couple of naysayers. You remember when the iPad came out and everyone was like, oh, iPad, you guys are stupid. It sounds like a female device. You know, it's like, remember they were making fun of it?
Yeah, Tom, I remember that. I tweeted that like 12 hours ago.
By the way, that sounds just like
that's
her
Andy.
impression.
And the iPad's an amazing thing. Do you have one, Andy? It's a great device. And
I
it's
have
made
12.
billions for the Apple
No,
Corporation.
I was actually just going to say what you said because I said it earlier today before you ripped it off now. But a lot of people said when the iPad came out, this is crazy. It's nobody needs it. They're not going to buy it. The name is stupid. It sounds like a feminine product. I mean, everybody was mocking it, and now everybody has it. So, yeah, the watch seems stupid to me. Apple's got a pretty good track record. On the other hand, the iPad was Steve Jobs.
Right.
This is Tim Cook, and their track record is not as good lately. So I don't know. I think we'll have to see.
I'll never be attracted to a man I see talking into his watch, which is exactly
What about Dick
what
Tracy?
Or he's a spy.
Dick Tracy was pretty cool and
Where should
macho.
I go to dinner?
And he talked
Watch?
into his watch.
I do think one really cool app, though, for it would be if they have like the soft hum or like a soft tick. So it actually sounds like a watch.
Oh, I'm sure they
Wouldn't
do.
that be a great
Oh,
app?
that would be great.
You could just
People
keep
love all
open
those-
and it, like, you
those
hear the like
old-fashioned
second.
sounds.
So all the people can have their cats go to sleep while they have this watch.
I think it may be a flop, actually. Apple always does well, but this is the one thing that the watch is on its way out.
Yeah.
Young people aren't wearing watches, and it's a kind of a thing of the past, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get them to strap one of those on. Okay, coming up. Is rock music dead? We investigate in our 10-part special. Tom Shillue's plan to murder rock music and bring back barbershop. But first, a word from our sponsor. Sing right here. Hold that
Tonight's sponsor is Personal Piggybacks, responsible for getting all our guests to and from the studio in a fun, festive way that's not at all embarrassing. Our trained staff will cart you around the city so that everyone knows you not only step on people, you weigh them down as well. Ride around on the back of luxury with personal piggybacks.
A new study says patients are optimistic about seeing their doctor on their cell phone. That's the subject of tonight's. A study has found that 66% of Americans would be very likely or somewhat likely to meet with their doctor over their cell phone. Are you surprised? Why? People like doing everything on their cell phone, and they know that the biggest strides in efficiency and convenience are happening on handheld devices. The same should be true for the medical field. What a great time to nationalize our healthcare industry, which is sure to stifle innovation and the ability of people to personally control their own healthcare, which is the way they want it. Make no mistake, the people who want to control your life do not like innovation. As was stated in this recent article on Salon entitled Why Uber Must Be Stopped, which basically explained why the popular handheld limousine hailing application is so terrible. Because it works so well. It works so well, it disrupts the moribund taxi industry and creates competition everywhere it goes. Wouldn't it be great if we could do that with the healthcare industry? Nah, because healthcare is a commodity. Healthcare is not a commodity. Healthcare is a right. So we should all have the right to the same mediocre healthcare and all pay the same exact amount, except for some people who pay more. Andy, I made so much sense in that last segment.
Did you?
Except for the 3 errors I made in reading the teleprompter.
Right, which
said the opposite of what I meant.
It wasn't that just they were minor errors. They actually completely made your point 180 degrees different from what it was supposed to be.
Okay, so first agree with me, and then I'll tell you why you're wrong, because I read the wrong thing.
I don't know which you to agree with at this point.
I'm saying, Andy, that just at the time that we are having all this wonderful breakthroughs of technology, here we are going back to an old Soviet-style healthcare system. What a shame.
I'm not entirely sure this is a great breakthrough in technology, seeing your doctor on a video screen or a cell phone. It's a great supplemental service for times when it's impossible to get to the doctor. I don't
most times.
But this is not. This is a horrible substitute for actually seeing a doctor. There is a lot to be said for a doctor's touch, for a doctor actually laying his hands on you.
I've always said that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I didn't mean it.
Cold hands.
I mean it.
As long as they rub their hands before they touch you.
But you know, if something hurts, a doctor putting his hands on you where it hurts can help him diagnose what's wrong with you, and it's a psychological thing too. People feel better if you get a diagnosis from a doctor after he's examined you and touched you, not just from you saying, oh, I feel this way over the phone.
Well, maybe you don't have to hold your hand up here. Now phones have video, so you can look at it.
Well, what about the
stethoscope? If it's on your watch?
What about the stethoscope? How are they going to do the stethoscope?
I know. Do they even need that? What good is that dumb
They're not going to know what's wrong with you unless they do the stethoscope.
I believe the Apple Watch comes with a stethoscope.
And the pumpy arm thing.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
It's the key to every diagnosis.
Catherine, you've just been through a harrowing experience in the healthcare industry.
I still am.
What did you do? You twisted a foot or something.
I did Insanity, which is a home workout video.
A home workout from the late 70s, right?
My hip. I broke my hip. I'm still on one crutch. Home workout videos in my apartment took me down.
Oh my! You actually broke the hip?
A stress fracture, yeah. So it means I broke it just a little bit, but it's still really.
And you don't need to
really
put it in a cast. You just kind of stay off it.
I'm on crutches. I'm only on one crutch now, but it's still terrible.
Okay, so knowing that personal experience you just had, don't you agree with me that it's time to privatize the entire healthcare industry?
I don't think they could have given me an MRI over my phone or over my laptop, so I don't see how this is particularly advanced. I think it's more of a scam, because unless they really want to get sued, they're not going to make any real diagnosis over Skype. They're going to say, oh, your throat hurts, well, you probably have a sore throat. Drink fluids and take Motrin and go to sleep, and that'll be $200. And thank you.
She has a great Greg Gutfeld too.
Yeah, that's a great Gutfeld. Keith.
Yes.
I think it's obvious. I don't really care about this app. I'm just trying to get someone to attack Obamacare. Could you please do that?
Well, this idea is nothing new, at least for me. The doctor I go to, the doctors, they're just out of med school. so they're younger, and all of my consultations are via Snapchat.
Oh, really?
They keep
so they disappear
So you
right
have
after.
like 10 seconds to
They're
get your
done,
diagnosis.
and they're gone.
Wow.
Like that.
Well, it's probably cheaper. You know, when you get your haircut at the local college of haircuttery.
Who told you?
It's cheaper.
Who told you that?
It's a great system.
No, the thing that I read about this, who's excited about it, these parents, you know, middle of the night, they can contact the doctor in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
What about hypochondriacs? All hypochondriacs have now is WebMD, which just makes you more paranoid.
Well, that's the thing. I think that this is a great alternative to WebMD. You can actually speak to a real doctor. Haven't we all had a moment where we've gone, oh, I really wish I had a doctor in the family who I can ask questions to see if this is something serious.
You need to marry someone Jewish, honey.
Exactly. I know, and I don't like asking.
That guarantees having a doctor in the family.
I seek outside help. My sister's a physical therapist, but I end up going to the private because then, when it's in the family, then she's always asking about it, and then she'll call and she'll be like, "Are you doing your exercises? Are you lifting up your arm? All of these kind of things."
At least on WebMD.
Well, you know, I don't think we attacked Obamacare
I think
enough.
we all agree that the story had nothing to do with Obamacare.
It didn't, but again, I'm always looking for a way to get into, you know, it's terrible. Okay, according to Gene Simmons, rock and roll is dead and Obamacare will not bring it back. It was killed by barbershop harmony. Actually, the KISS frontman blames file sharing and downloading by people who think they're entitled to have something for free. Simmons tells Esquire magazine that today's songwriters are more likely to work behind the scenes rather than practice their material on stage, adding, "I'm so sad that the next 15-year-old kid in a garage someplace in St. Paul that plugs into his Marshall and wants to turn it up to 10 will not have anywhere near the same opportunity that I did. He will most likely, no matter what he does, fail miserably." Now, for younger viewers who might not be familiar with Gene Simmons or KISS, here is a sample of their music.
I just want a pizza. Rose likes a trophy. I feel so bad for you. I'm so good for me, But I was paid to fly with you, Batman, in our Bayette.
They were pretty bad, weren't they? Yeah, bad. I mean, in the good way. That's the way we used to say it. Catherine, Gene Simmons seems to be blaming file sharing, downloading. How 2006 of him?
Ooh, ridiculous. He's saying that no 15-year-old kid with talent can go in his garage and get good at guitar and become famous. It's like now 12-year-old kids with no talent can go in their garage and just find a weird cat with a weird face and put it on YouTube, and they're instantly famous.
Yep.
I don't know what exactly his problem is here. KISS is on tour right now. They are selling tickets for $700 in some seats, and they are terrible. How is it? They're so bad.
They never really had a hit song, did they? They always, when I was a kid, KISS was very big.
They had a bunch of hit songs.
They did?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember them with the makeup and everyone was
a barbershop.
Yeah, you were too busy
That's right. It wasn't like Who's in the Strawberry Patch with Sally. So, Keith.
Yes, sir.
Isn't Gene Simmons wrong? There is more opportunity today. And, you know, back then, 99.9% of the kids playing in their garage weren't going to make it anyway. It had nothing to do with the fact that there was downloads.
Right.
Right?
Well, I just think it's an old man ranting. I think, of course, he thinks rock is dead. He wrote Detroit Rock City. Have you seen Detroit? No
Hey,
With all
have
due
you seen
respect.
Detroit? Because it's very, very awesome.
It's very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
They got David Price now, the Tigers.
Yeah.
Although economically, it's been having a tough go at it in
off-
Detroit.
off-
Okay, you'll
off
admit that,
track.
Catherine.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But it's very, very fun, and I love it very
It's a nice
much.
place, yeah. Keith,
It is nice.
So
My apologies.
you think Gene Simmons is an old crank?
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this
Joanne?
interview was with his son. His son was conducting the interview.
Well, that's the way to do it.
Of course, every father is going to be like, things were different when I was your age,
Exactly.
kid.
Yeah.
Things have changed. I don't think rock is dead. Rock of Ages continues to sell out on Broadway. Constantine, who's been on our show, is back there for a bit of a run. Very popular. And I think it's just a trend, right? We might see rock coming back. It's like those big headphones, you know?
Yeah.
It used to be the little earbuds, and now the big headphones are coming back. So I think rock is
Okay, so music's
what's old
around,
will
but
be new
Andy,
again.
is it even rock anymore? I mean, Maroon 5 and Adam Levine, is that rock? Or, you know,
No, that's
could you-
I mean, no, absolutely.
Like it's hung.
But look, people said rock was dead when disco became huge.
Yes.
Disco eventually died. Rock was still around. People said Rock was dead when all that synth pop hit in the 80s and it was all over the radios and MTV. Rock survived. Rock will survive. You could make an argument that stadium rock is dying. There aren't a lot of current bands that can fill a stadium right now.
Yes.
You know, but thousands of bands, probably more than that, are putting out albums and are touring. It's ridiculous to say that Rock is dead. And the other thing is Simmons has it backwards. That 15-year-old kid in a garage has more of a chance of getting his music heard now than he did back in the 70s and 80s and 90s when everything was controlled by a handful of labels.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I don't think Simmons understands.
No, he doesn't.
It's still slim, but at least you kind of have a chance to make it on your own. Okay, coming up, teens forced to wear outfits of shame. In my day, we called those uniforms. Get up! She was made the fool at her new school. Yes, a Florida teen was forced to wear a shame suit as punishment for violating the dress code. Miranda Larkin says she wasn't aware that the skirt she wore on her third day at a new school was too short. A teacher stopped her in the hallway and sent her to the nurse's office. There, she was instructed to change into a neon yellow shirt and red sweatpants that read dress code violation. The 15-year-old called it a shame suit. She was humiliated, and she called her mom, who was shocked.
I was shocked. I was absolutely amazed at what they were doing, and I said, you are not wearing that. You're going home. There's absolutely no way you're going to walk around being humiliated all day. And then I told the school nurse that my daughter doesn't deal well with public shaming and that she was going home.
Diana Larkin says the shame suit is a violation of her daughter's privacy rights, and she will be filing a complaint with the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Catherine, you were laughing there. Whose fault is this? The mother? The daughter? The school? Pick one.
Everyone is an idiot. It's so weird that this school took time to write dress code violation on the leg of some pants. Pretty creepy. This girl having a panic attack and breaking out in hives over having to wear a neon shirt. Get a grip. It's like disrespectful to anyone who's ever had a real problem. And also disrespectful to those of us who did wear neon in middle school on purpose, like me, and an orange Billabong hoodie and no friends.
And walked around with hives, proudly.
No.
Nothing wrong
I
with
can
hives.
handle my neon. Unlike, what's her face?
Joanne, this outfit could be hip, right? Imagine if you had the back brace and you put on the outfit over that.
It's
That would be
all
fantastic.
about how you wear it.
Right.
That's what kids need to understand. And if you can walk with confidence and even laugh at yourself, like you're the new girl at this school too. Like if you want people to know you, they'll know you wearing it. But if you're like nervous and sweating because you're in this and you're embarrassed, that's not cool. But if you like laugh it off, you're like, I didn't know my skirt was too short. Right.
Exactly.
You could have made a lot of friends.
How do you get status in a school? You misbehave. So you walk around, and it's like you're in the prison. Prison arms,
yard,
right?
In the yard, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're telling everyone at this new school, I play by my own rules. I don't listen to your stupid dress code.
So now, what do you think, though, Andy? If you were, make you an administrator of a high school, would you have a dress code?
Yes, but it would only be short skirts. Can I say that?
You just did.
Yeah. No, I think dress codes are fine in schools. I don't have a problem with that. I think this is a little. The shame suit is ridiculous.
Well, they called it a shame suit.
No, I know, but the idea of wearing a shirt that says dress code violation. The only thing I would say is if someone in that school is smart, if a bunch of young kids, they will start a band called Dress Code Violation.
Yes, exactly.
And then they will have pictures of everyone in the school wearing their shirts.
Yeah, someone is going to ride this to popularity, but it's not going to be this girl. Especially if she gets her mother involved. How uncool is that, Keith, getting your parents involved in your internecine warfare?
I went to Catholic school. I thought I was a badass if my shirt was untucked.
Exactly.
So
young man, tuck that shirt in, right?
I don't agree with the nickname they gave the shame suit. It's not an orange jumpsuit. It's a T-shirt and sweatpants.
Yeah.
You know how many people out there would love to wear a T-shirt and sweatpants all day long?
Yeah.
She should embrace it.
Well, also, I like how the mom said, told the school, her daughter doesn't do well with public shaming. You're sort of not supposed to do well with public shaming.
That's the whole idea.
And also, they are now they are now shaming the school. So this is just a circle of shame.
It is. And the daughter's pictures all over the internet.
Right. Yeah.
So what good is that? I got sent home from school for wearing doctor pants. That was a big thing. Yeah, that was a big thing in around 1980.
Oh, and that was the shirts too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But those doctor pants, they thought there was something wrong with them. I thought I looked Dignified. I look like Doogie Howser. Okay, coming up. Your big brother might be bad for your health. And do you have videos of animals? You can send them to us at foxnews.com/redeye. Coming up tomorrow in the next Red Eye, Greg is back. His guests are Carrie Sheffield and Sherrod Small.
E-Block. Last story. That's the last story.
A new study claims that being bullied by a sibling in childhood increases your risk for depression. Oxford University researchers asked 7,000 12-year-olds if they had a brother or sister who said hurtful things, hit them, or ignored them. The same 7,000 children. I mean, I got to give these guys credit for just following 7,000 children.
Yeah, but they're children. How reliable are they?
Yeah, well, okay. Maybe they must know that. They're all psychologists. They know, Catherine, if a kid, depression doesn't happen till after age 12 anyway, right?
Did this study assess these kids' haircuts? However, did their haircuts improve? My whole family was very mean to me. I used to have this weird mullet side bang haircut for all of high school and like Hot Topic fashion sense. They made fun of me a lot, but guess what? I looked very unattractive.
And so you're saying
had they not made fun of me, I would probably be a manager of a Hot Topic right now.
The bullying helped you. It guided you.
Yeah, families are supposed to make you sad, or else you turn out to think you're perfect and you manage a Hot Topic.
Joanne, siblings?
I have an older sister.
Older sister.
Oh, yeah. She
was tough on you.
hated me until I was a sophomore in high school and she was a senior, and she had to drive me to school. And then all of her guy friends wanted to date me, and they wanted me to come to the parties, so she would bring me. And then she had to become my friend, and now we're best friends. And I think I'm happy.
Okay.
Like, I think I turned out okay.
Yeah, so you know what? Kids aren't meant to be friendly with each other. They're mean to each other.
Yeah,
they're
you have
better
to
when they're older. That's when we're supposed to be friends with our siblings. Keith, I'm sure you come from a big family and you're one of the younger ones.
I am the youngest.
How did I know that? America, ask me how I knew that.
How did you know that, Tom?
Because comedians are always the last in their family. They're always the youngest.
Always?
Yes, every time.
Okay.
Ask any comedian. I do it all the time. and they picked on you and it made you funny, didn't it?
It helped. Everything in that definition of bullying is normal behavior with siblings growing up.
And even if it's not normal, Keith.
It's helpful.
And every study,
even if it's
can
not,
be offset by a study that says the exact opposite. I've seen studies that say that the youngest child is the happiest one in the family, but the youngest kid is always one getting bullied. So who wins? Who wins the battle?
No
of
one.
the study?
Everybody wins.
No one wins.
Everybody wins when bullying's involved, okay? Very special thanks to Katherine Timpf, TV's Andy Levy, Joanne Nosuchinsky, and Keith Alberstadt. That does it for me. I'm Tom Shillue, and I will see you next time.